Hello, Coach Garber. This is Team 2 of your 930 class. This is our career and internship analysis for the students at Central Michigan University. Overall, we found that when considering the attributes for their career choice, CMU students are most concerned about their starting salary. When looking for a full-time position, CMU students are most concerned about advancement within the company. On the other hand, CMU students find the company atmosphere most important when choosing an internship. We calculated the CMU Logistics Internship Program, and it has a positive NPS score, meaning that CMU students believe the logistics department is doing a good job. However, there's still room for improvement. As for logistics firms, they are best at maintaining relationships between employees and their supervisors. Reputation of the firm is the most important to CMU students when choosing a career path and looking for an internship. However, companies do have room for improvement. They must improve their stress levels and onboarding process to attract recent college graduates. By analyzing the data across multiple points, we are able to find exactly what our students are looking for in an internship and/or full-time position after graduation.
Our agenda will consist of our objectives, our research methods, and descriptions of NPS scores and performance ratios, results for our choices, a summary, and then we will open the floor to a Q&A.
Our objectives for the study are as follows. How students will make choices, what attributes are most and least important when making these choices, and what level of performances are most and least preferred. We will look at two different situations and see what is most and least preferred for students. We will evaluate how CMU students' perspective is related to the industry and what are some of the key drivers. We will look at what is most important in the marketing and logistics students from a retention perspective. And our last objective is to find important opportunities and look at students' choices as to what should be fixed first.
The sampling frame was CMU Marketing and Logistics undergraduate students. The survey was developed with students, pre-tested with students, and has been revised several times.
In fall 2016, we administered a web-based survey to undergraduate students at CMU. Points were awarded for quality completeness.
Survey limitations include small sample size, survey fatigue, and limited experience in the business world.
61% of survey respondents were male, while 39% of respondents were female. We believe this is due to the marketing logistics field at CMU being very male dominant. In order to get a more well-rounded point of view that resembles the population, we believe that we need more females to take the survey and expand the survey to students outside of the marketing and logistics department. What? 61% of the male participants were male. So what? Due to the lack of female participation, the survey does not resemble the population. It is highly based on the marketing logistics majors and does not represent all majors across the business school. Now what? Get more females to take the survey and look into expanding the survey into other departments.
Internship type. Of the 62 of CMU students that had an internship before, 26 of them have been in marketing field, 22 of them have been in logistics, and 14 are in another field. What? Most students completed a marketing internship. So what? Students need to complete an internship prior to graduation. They tend to complete them in the marketing field as well as the logistics field. Now what? Bring in firms that are looking to fill marketing and supply chain positions.
Attribute importance. When determining a career path, most students believe that the starting salary is the most important attribute, followed by the company's culture, then distance from home. Of these 6 attributes, salary is the most important when choosing a career. However, students take the other 5 attributes into heavy consideration. What? Salary and company culture are the most important attributes to students. So what? Students' career decisions are highly impacted by the salary a company offers. The environmental effect has a low impact. Now what? Recruit companies that offer higher salaries to come and recruit students for positions.
Salary preference. The highest preference for salaries is overwhelmingly at $60,000 and above, with $50,000 still being acceptable. Most students are going to apply to jobs where the starting salary is $50,000 and over. What? Most students want jobs that start at $50,000 to $60,000. So what? Students are likely to not apply at jobs that start at less than $50,000. Now what? Recruit firms to CMU that have a starting base salary above $50,000.
Relocate. Students prefer to drive no more than 1 hour to work each day and would like to avoid jobs requiring air travel and driving 4 hours each day. Graduates will likely apply to jobs close to home for as little travel as possible. What? Students would rather stay close to home. They would prefer to live 1 hour away from home, and it is the favorable result. Students almost look at living 4 hours away as the same as living somewhere further away. So what? Focus on relationships with in-state companies and not so with companies that tend to relocate somewhere out of state. Now what? Bring in companies from Michigan to recruit students for their Michigan locations.
Office setting. The majority of students want to have a job in an office setting. Students are not flattered at all by being a road warrior. There must be enough jobs in the office setting to please college graduates. What? Office setting is the preferred work setting. Working on the road is viewed in a negative light. So what? Students are less appealed to working on the road or in the field. Now what? Focus on providing more office jobs based just for the students.
Where would you like to live? The majority of students would like to live in the suburbs or a big city and not in rural areas. Companies in rural areas will fail to attract recent college graduates. Companies in rural areas need to make their jobs seem more attractive to attract more college graduates. What? Students favor to live in the suburbs or a big city. So what? Students do not view living in a rural area as favorable. Now what? Focus on working with companies that operate in metropolitan areas.
Do you prefer? Logistics students would prefer to work for a 3PL or carrier. They would not want to work for a retailer or wholesaler. CMU needs to continue to build a relationship with 3PL and carriers to satisfy its students. What? Logistics students prefer to work for a third-party logistics company or carrier. So what? There is a lack of desire to work for a wholesaler or a retailer. Now what? Build relationships with 3PLs and carriers for student recruitments.
Company culture preference. It is clear that students like to have their personality fit in the company's culture. Students will only apply to places where they will mesh well with coworkers, managers, and the overall environment. Firms must make their corporate culture open and inviting in order to attract recent college graduates. What? Culture fit is an important attribute to students. So what? Students want to work at a company where the culture they will fit. Now what? Find companies that emphasize giving a strong corporate culture.
Internships. From the survey, we found out that most college students care about work atmosphere, room for advancement, and being a cultural fit, and least about office dress code, social activities, and the size of the firm when looking and choosing an internship. What? Atmosphere is the most important attribute for students that are seeking an internship. So what? The size of the firm and dress code are not important attributes that students are looking at. Now what? Focus on bringing in companies who have a positive atmosphere that are looking to hire interns to full-time positions.
Full-time. When students begin to look for full-time positions, we found out that potential room for advancement is most important to them. Students still care least about dress code when looking for full-time jobs. What? Opportunities to grow with the company for full-time is the most important attribute. So what? Size of firm, dress code are the least important attributes. Now what? Bring in companies that look to hire from within for leadership positions.
Now let's compare the attributes side by side. Potential advancement within the company is one of the most important attributes for students when looking for internships and full-time positions. However, it is more important for students seeking full-time opportunities. Work atmosphere and culture are other factors that are important to students seeking an internship or full-time opportunity. Employers need to exceed in these areas when they're trying to fulfill their open positions. Dress and the size of the firm have very low importance to students who are looking for an internship or full-time position. Students seeking full-time opportunities are more focused on their starting salary, while students seeking internships are more focused on finding a job directly related to their major. What? Advancements are more important to people seeking full-time positions. However, it is still highly regarded. Atmosphere is also an important attribute for both. So what? People seeking internships are not as heavily focused on advancement within the company. Now what? Focus on companies that strive in their work atmosphere.
CX Performance Analysis. After concluding our conjoint analysis, we will be moving on to customer experience or satisfaction analysis.
Objectives. Our objectives with the CX performance analysis is to compare how well we are performing against other schools and how are we performing relative to our key drivers.
Net Promoter Score. When calculating the Net Promoter Score, we took the percentage of promoters, rating some 9s and 10s, or satisfied students, minus the number of detractors, students who rated 6 or below, and are dissatisfied. After calculating the NPS, we were able to get a score of 15.7. But 46.9% of survey participants rated CMU's logistics internship program a 9 or 10, and think highly of it. So what? Almost 1/3 of CMU students have had a negative experience during their internship. Now what? CMU needs to increase the attribute scores and increase the performance and satisfaction of their internship program.
NPS benchmarks. Comparing across several industries, positive NPS rank above 0. Companies with poor NPS scores rank below 0. Here we see Coca-Cola, a dominant global brand, ranked high, while Facebook is ranked low. What CMU can do is mimic some of Coca-Cola's customer satisfaction traits to help improve student satisfaction. What? Central Michigan has a favorable NPS score. Coca-Cola is recognized as a world leader. So what? Facebook has a subpar NPS score. Their reputation can be hurt by it. Now what? CMU needs to focus and improve their NPS scores by studying how Coca-Cola pleases their clients, and CMU can do the same to please their students.
Best competitor key attributes. Our biggest competitor's best attribute, our relationship with supervisors as well as the work atmosphere. The biggest weakness are wages and variety of work. If we can outperform them with their best attributes, we can gain a major competitive advantage.
Performance ratios. Understanding performance ratios. First off, we're going to explain our algorithm of us divided by them. If the score lands between 0.97 to 1.03, we are going to call it a virtual tie. If it is above 1.03, it is a competitive advantage. If it is below 1.03, it's a competitive disadvantage. The areas highlighted in green are the attributes that we would consider our competitive advantage. These attributes are variety, reputation, amount of work, meaningful work, compensation, and jobs that are aligned with our majors. The areas in gray are the areas that we are tied with our biggest competitor and in the zone of indifference. These attributes are advancement, location, relationship with our supervisor, and the size of the firm. The areas in red are our competitive disadvantage. These areas are work atmosphere, dress codes, the onboarding process, and the stress levels. What? Central Michigan's biggest competitive advantage over their best competitor is the variety of work. So what? Central Michigan's biggest weakness compared to their competitor is stress level in the employer's onboarding process. Now what? Central Michigan needs to focus on retaining companies that provide a wide variety of work. They also need to focus on recruiting companies that provide a structured onboarding process in a less stressful atmosphere.
CX importance. Now we are going to be looking into our CX importance analysis. We should get good variation throughout the attributes. Reputation of the firm, value of the work, and culture fit with the personality are the most important to CMU students. Stress levels by far are the least important attributes to CMU students when looking for an internship, but it should not be completely disregarded.
Does the logistics department need to improve? More than half the CMU students believe that their job or internship needs improvement. However, there is still a large amount of students who believe their job does not need improvement. But our goal is to listen to the students and take actions so the majority of students are pleased with their job and/or internship. In this graph, we see that students view the atmosphere of their company as a major weakness, with the onboarding process and social activities outside of work as a minor weakness. All other attributes fall under major or minor strengths. Our goal is to see how we can improve the atmosphere of the company, the onboarding process, and the social life outside of work, and then turn them into strengths in order to improve students' overall satisfaction of their jobs or internships.
In summary, we want to look at all the data points from an overall perspective of CMU marketing and logistics students. Students felt that salary for their job or internship is most important, and ideally want a starting salary around $60,000 a year. Logistics students prefer a career working for a 3PL or carrier and to work in an office setting in the suburbs or a big city. Students felt that their opportunity to advance within the company and personality fit with the company's culture as being most important. When students rated their overall experience with their job or internship, students felt that their relationship with their supervisor was a major strength, where stress level was a weakness. Students view the reputation of the firm as most important. After completing their internship or job, their experience could be improved in their beliefs. CMU marketing and logistics students strive for greatness and have very high career aspirations. Now we'd like to open the floor for a Q&A. If you have any immediate questions, please feel free to contact Tyler Huyghe, Jeff McNalley, or Benjamin Moxon, and we'll get back to you as promptly as possible. Thanks!